Good evening. Thanks for joining us. KMA's off tonight. A major political shift is coming to the Wisconsin Supreme Court starting August 1st. That's when Milwaukee County Janet Protasewicz will take her seat after a decisive win, giving liberals the majority in the court for the first time in 15 years. Protasewicz defeated conservative challenger Daniel Kelly by more than 10 percentage points yesterday, a considerable margin for a swing state. In Your Voice, Your Vote coverage, Jason Zimmerman breaks down what's next for Protasewicz.
During a victory party Tuesday night in downtown Milwaukee, supporters of Janet Protasewicz chanted Fab Four as she surrounded herself by three other Wisconsin Supreme Court justices who share her left-leaning political values as a show of solidarity.
Our state is taking a step forward to a better and brighter future where our rights and freedoms will be protected. And while there is still work to be done, tonight we celebrate this historic victory that has obviously reignited hope in so many of us.
The win gives liberals a 4-3 majority on the court after a bitter campaign, which included parting shots from Daniel Kelly as he addressed supporters of his own in Green Lake.
My opponent is a serial liar. She's disregarded judicial ethics. She's demeaned the judiciary with her behavior. And this is the future that we have to look forward to in Wisconsin.
Protasewicz campaigned on abortion rights and fair election maps. Cases involving those issues might be among the first she could rule on.
The 1849 abortion ban, at least in my view, is gone. That is going to get struck down. The question, of course, is what is going to happen after that? If that act is struck down, as I expect it to be, Roe v. Wade, which is almost unlimited abortion rights, that snaps back into place.
Protasewicz will serve a 10-year term on the court. Liberals will hold the majority until at least 2025. Reporting in Grand Chute, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.